Hi guys, so here's a video showing my latest project. Remember the rack that was given to me by Papercrafter45 like a couple of videos ago, I think. I was like so floored by giving so much of the of a collection that I really wanted. This is the Summer and Time collection by Bunny. Here I actually used a lot of like the 6x6. Some of the ephemera pack, because the ephemera pack also had like some matching paper collections from the papers from their older collections, as well as like some random things I could find around the house. Yeah, and probably a little bit, quite a little bit of the die cuts that was inside. Because I bought myself like another one as well, so I kind of like had a lot of freedom to like kind of like play around with some of these things. And because it was a whole steampunk thing, I wanted it to be a bit more interactive in some sense. This book in some sense is decorative. It may have some like accessories that like it has no other function except to like play around with. And so what I did was actually I did a star book, which I think is one of the coolest mini. So like the ribbon that can be used to tie the mini like close is also the one that keeps it open. So this is how it, whoops. Okay, you can imagine if like I tie it like tightly, right? And you become this really cool star book. And I intentionally created it to be like decorative in aspect, but also to have some functional aspects, which I'll like show you along the way. One of the things that that I kind of wanted to do is to make sure that it was still like a photo book, like it wasn't like just something like completely decorative. And yeah, kind of like having a little bit of a cough, so that sounds really strange. Yeah, forgive me. This is the cover. This is like that really cool owl thingy where they did like almost like a digital collage of all like the gears and to make into a shape of an owl, which is really cool. And there's some bling, some bread, so like further enhance its like kind of like a cogwheel sort of like look. Here was something that I already had on my table, and I was just lying around and I thought this looked perfect, so I got myself like one of the images there and then did glossy accent over there, so you can see that glossiness, which is really cool. And just like stickers and stuff from like some of my own collection, and this was from the ephemera pack, and some washi tape to try and give it like a bit more grounding, and this navy blue ribbon was also from the ephemera pack. Okay, so I'm going to show like one by one, and later you can kind of imagine how it looked like if it was like spanned out on like each of the modular units been looked like at like a star book when it's fully opened up. So because of the structure it's not going to be able to open flatly, so which is fine because that's kind of like how it's designed to look. So here's like a good place for photos and journaling. One of the papers on the ephemera line. Also have like a place where I put another tag, so that's more for like purely journaling. So this actually came from the miscellaneous me bow bunny that I had like for aeons, in my stash for like ever. But because they're kind of like thin and papery, I kind of like matted them on like some good quality American Craft smooth cardstock. I can't remember the color, so. But it really goes well with the blue that's inside of the collection. Yeah, and I made some simple tags in a place where a journaling can go in the back. And this dress form is from the die cut collection. And what I also made intentional to do was to make things interactive, right? So I took one of like the gears and I poked a hole in the center, and then on the dress form as well, and then put the bread in the center, and it becomes like kind of like this wheel turning thing, which I thought was kind of cool. And this just is like a magnetic page that opens up and a place for journaling and photos. Now this is a really cool page, and I want you guys to be, hopefully the camera can pick this up. Yeah, so this is actually a kind of like a shadow frame sort of concept. So because of like the nature of the star book, I actually die cut it this part, but I also created a pocket. So what can happen, because this book kind of measures 4x6, you might have to trim down like 4x6 photo a little bit, but it will slot right behind here, and then and this will become the front. Now the other thing I'll probably do to make it even look more interesting was actually have the photo pasted at the background inside the second layer of the star book. And what I do instead is I'm gonna have like a transparency where I journal, and then it will slot right in front of there. And now that will look really cool because you have like your journaling over your photo, and you see how like this idea of like this dimension that pops up, so it really gives a lot of like this cool dimensional effect, and it's not like flat. Just a place for journaling and just a full-size photo, because I still wanted it to be functional, so I didn't like remove that function as well. So I'm gonna think maybe like a 3.5 by 5 inch photo here. And here's like another page for like could put a photo behind here, and a place for journaling of photos. I did use up some of my like a little stash, so this I did out some of the scraps I have. I think this paper though is primarily from the Cartographer collection by Prima, and because it's like neutrals, it went really well with the collection with their own neutrals. Place for title or date. Here's like something I did that's really interactive. So this is like a Stampers Anonymous stamp. I think it's Tim Holtz, if I might be wrong. And this is also another Stampers Anonymous stamp. Can't remember by who. Please for like journaling or photo. And basically what I did for this was I actually put the brads through here. So I stamped on the wing image, and then did some coloring. So this entire image was actually colored using the Derwent Inktense color pencils, and this as well, kind of like playing around with it just to see how it all worked out. So I kind of like the effect at the end, but I probably need a little bit more practice with it, but it's really fun. And the color turns out really intense. It's not like some watercolor crayons that after or color pencils, when after you apply water, the color actually loses its intensity. So I guess that's why they call it the winter intense color pencils, and they're actually more like color pens per se, because when you put the water on, they kind of move closer to ink than they would, say, compared to like a pigment. And here there's like a place to slot in like a cool 3x5 by 5 inch photo, place for another photo around here, or if you want to do journaling up there, like whichever. And some of these papers are from like ephemera pack. This is from the Cartographer collection Prima at the background, but this black color piece here in which I did some photo corner punching is from the 6x6 paper pad of Somewhere in Time. Yep, and this is just another like simple page, like slots open, places of photos, like probably 2 Instagram photos that I blow them up to maybe like 2.5 by 2.5 inches. And that's the place in which the slot came out from, and a place for like journaling. And here it applies the same concept as previously before. So I could have a few fun things with it, like maybe for the first one I could put like the photo in the slot, but this one maybe I decided to put like the transparency or something. This bird is actually from another brand. It's actually a Taiwan scrapbooking brand. They're actually more like a stationery brand, and then they do like greeting cards and whatnot. But I think recently they're like entering the foray of like scrapbooking as well, and they've done some pretty cool stuff. So it's from this die cut set from Ino Greeting, which is like a Chinese Taiwan brand, so which explains like the Chinese words at the back. And it's really cool because I think the quality is not too bad for die cuts, and it was really cheap. It was like $2.90. That's like I'm thinking like if I convert to US currency, that's like $1.75 or something, which can be quite cool. Sorry about that. Okay, I also wanted something to be like really decorative. So if you like roll like my first few videos, I actually did like a Teresa Collins mini album that had to do with some traveling theme thingamajig. I actually had like this same paper sculpture as well, so just to add a lot of interest. Purely decorative, but I thought it looks really fun. And it's like kind of like a ongoing staircase and stuff. Place for journaling, and a place for photos and journaling here as well. but more for journaling, I think. And because like the pocket I left here is like kind of wide, so you could squeeze in like a 3x5 photo right behind into the pocket here. And here is just another place for which a small tag comes out and place for journaling. So all this like 3x4 sort of tags actually came from the collection, which is the Bull Bunny Miscellaneous Me Vintage Weekly Collection that I showed earlier. And finally, this is like the last page. So I kind of like put these two gears on the corner, and what I did was I only glued onto the side, so like a photo can go behind here and slide it into like here easily. So you can put like two or three photos, and to kind of like give like a kind of like a layered on effect. And same concept as the front, because of the whole pocket thing here. It makes it a really cool, like I don't think the video can pick out how cool this is, but when you see it in real person, it's just really cool. And so the idea is that after I put in all the photos, especially those with the frames, right, it kind of opens up and becomes like a interesting, it is still interactive, decorative book, but it is still a photo book, which I'm quite proud of this project. Oops. Okay, if you like tie it up, then it will be probably a lot better. The ribbons is also from the ephemera pack, so I think that ribbon that came in the ephemera pack really went well in the entire collection, and I thought this is really fun. So it looks like that, like a 6-star thing, and then you can imagine like if people like on a coffee table, and then they interact with their own like pieces, and then they look at the stuff. It's kind of cool. And so the color of the cardboards I used was Craft. This cool blue color. It's kind of like, it's like a tealish aquamarine sort of color that leans towards the blue, because sometimes you get a teal that's kind of like a tide pool shadowing sort of color, which is like more greenish. This is like more the blue side. You get aquamarine, and then there's like a dark brown cardstock, as you can see like in some of these frames, which is for the outer layer. And the book, like this part itself is 4x6, so this will measure 8x6. It's 8.5 by 6, and then 9x6. So I just separated them by like half inches apart, and I just stuck like each signature down after I like double-sided taped the spine over here, and it makes for a really cool star book. It's really simple. You can kind of figure it out on your own. Yeah, so thank you guys for watching. If you guys like the mini, let me know what you think. Yeah, and I'll catch you guys next time for another project share video. Thanks.